Who is God? Men of intelligence have always pondered on this question. Where does everything come from? The Vedic injunction is therefore, Janmadi asya yataha. The absolute truth is He from whom everything emanates. The blunt fact is that we haven't created this manifested world, but are on the contrary products of it, being controlled by its rules. Now is the time to inquire about the origin of all, since this human form of life is specifically equipped for this crucial task. So, who is God? If we look at all philosophies and all scriptures in the world, we find many different views. Some claim that God doesn't exist, but if there is no supreme power, then why are they being subjected to take birth and die against their will? Even if they say that the origin of all is not a person, still, a potency superior than them exists, and the universe doesn't require them for creation, maintenance, and destruction. Some others worship nature, claiming it as supreme. But if nature is supreme, then why is it relatively existing? A tree comes from a seed, which comes from a fruit, which comes from a tree. Everything we see is dependent on the previous cause in order to exist. It is therefore not supreme, or, in other words, fully independent of any outside factor. This chain of event, as the seed and the tree, is found everywhere in creation. What is the cause of all causes? Who gave the original push? Still, others claim that everything came from zero, and it will ultimately go back to nothingness. But 0 times 100, 1,000, or a million is still 0. So where did variety come from? And if everything came by chance, why doesn't a mango tree by chance produce a peach? Or why don't dogs by chance give birth to cats? If chance is the creating principle, why not let money come by chance? Why is work required to create something in a universe that is itself created by chance? When a human being becomes more advanced, he takes to religious life and lives his life according to the direction of some scriptures, of which some promote that the absolute truth is impersonal, and that we are all part of this absolute light. In other words, we are all God. But if we are God, then why are we now subjected to miseries? If we are God and we can still fall from our position, that entails the existence of a higher God. And if the absolute is impersonal oneness, then if someone attained liberation, why are others still here? If we are all one, why are we not all liberated together? And if we all become liberated, who will be the one conscious of it, you or me? If one advances further, he comes to scriptures that talk of a personal God, the Almighty, the Supreme Father. If we consult such scriptures, we realize that in the Bhagavad Gita, we find everything mentioned in other sacred texts, but we also find information that isn't found elsewhere. Lord Krishna tells us, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. Krishna tells us that He is that Supreme Person. But what is the qualification of being the Supreme Person? In the Vedas, God is described as the person who possesses the sum total of these 6 opulences: strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. When only a 7-year-old boy, Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill exactly as a child picks up a mushroom. The Lord then addressed the cowherd community. O mother, O father, O residents of Vraja, if you wish you may now come under this hill with your cows. You should have no fear that this mountain will fall from my hand, and don't be afraid of the wind and rain, for your deliverance from these afflictions has already been arranged. In India and many other places around the world, Lord Krishna's deity is worshipped daily with utmost respect, offered daily feasts, flowers, incense. He is also bathed and worshipped many times a day. No one is offered more esteem. He is thus the most famous. Lord Krishna married 16,108 wives and built 16,108 palaces for each one of them. and married all the queens simultaneously. By expending himself in 16,100 forms, he simultaneously married them all in different palaces in one auspicious moment. He thus established the truth that Krishna and no one else is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is nothing impossible, for Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is all-powerful, omnipresent, and imperishable, and as such, there is nothing wonderful in this pastime. All the palaces of the more than 16,000 queens of Krishna were full with suitable gardens, furniture, and other paraphernalia, of which there is no parallel in the world. As the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, which is acclaimed and read by all great scholars, Krishna gave the highest knowledge and unparalleled wisdom, answering in full all existential questions. The beauty of Krishna cannot be explained by words, but one can see the effect that he had on young women. My dear friends, Krishna is so nicely dressed that he appears to be the impetuous to various kinds of ceremonies held by the womenfolk. Even the wives of the denizens of heaven become attracted after hearing the transcendental sound of his flute. Although they are traveling in the air in their airplanes, enjoying the company of their husbands, on hearing the sound of Krishna's flute, they immediately become perturbed, their hair is loosened, and their tight dresses are slackened. Some of them wanted to decorate their faces with cosmetic ointments and to dress themselves very nicely before going to Krishna. But unfortunately, they could not finish their cosmetic decorations nor put on their dresses in the right way because of their anxiety to meet Krishna immediately. Their faces were decorated hurriedly and were haphazardly finished. Some even put the lower part of their dresses on the upper part of their bodies and the upper part on the lower part. Those who were taking their meals abandoned them. Others went out without finishing their baths or massage. Women who were sleeping at once rose when they heard the commotion, and mothers breastfeeding their infants simply put them aside. By reading these uncommon descriptions of these damsels' reaction, one can just imagine the beauty of Lord Krishna. Although Krishna possesses all these opulences, he is detached. Although no other personality can surpass him in any way, he still remains humble enough to wash the feet of his pure devotee. There is a saying, God is great, but not only one-sided. God is great in all aspects. One should further his research of God. Simply saying, God is great, is insufficient. One should know how great he is, but in order to know how great a person is, one should first of all know who that person is.